Thoughts on the rise of Bill Goldberg? What are your feelings on Bill?
Guys, Bill was stinging out of the car at Charlotte one time and asked Eric Bischoff to get a chance to get a job. And then he wasn't, the night before he signed with, he was assigned with WWF. And he called my house. I was on the road. He talked to my ex-wife. And I hadn't checked into the hotel yet that night. She didn't know where I was staying yet.
Right.
And Bill had to make a decision like that day. And he talked to my ex-wife, and she explained some of the pluses and minuses about travel versus,
For your experiences.
Yeah, my experiences. And Bill made a decision off. I'm not saying myself, my ex-wife, are a big influence in Bill Goldberg's career choice, but I think Bill decided that WCW was his choice, and obviously it was the right one. Because I was one of those guys I tell you about when the first time he walked out. I said he's got it.
Yep.
When he walked out there, came out through those sparks, people reacted, and I knew he was going to be a big star.
Did he kind of come to you for advice because he was a football player, kind of like you, had a similar background?
A little bit. Yeah, I used to work out at my gym before he got when he played for the Falcons, and afterwards, and I knew him a little bit. So I don't know about advice. I don't want to say I give Bill advice because Bill pretty much had a pretty good business since all along. He was pretty. Hey, Bill always had good instincts. But we talked some and about the wrestling, and Bill. I always got along well with Bill. I mean, gosh, I was Bill's last match, I think, with WCW. He had me put on the torture rack. I mean, Bill was business with me, and we always got along. Some people say he got a big head and this and that, but I thought he did great. He was successful. If he could afford his own plane and fly himself,
more power to him.
When people criticize the guy about if you could afford your own plane and not have to go through the airport and like everybody else, why are you mad at him? Because he's been successful and done well. I never had any resentment on that.
Just to get off the subject a little bit, what do you think about Brock Lesnar being a wrestler, a collegiate, to WWF wrestler now in the football, since you were in football?
Tough transition, man. From what I know, I don't know his football background, all of it, but I heard he just played high school.
And I don't even think
it was his senior
year.
I know that high school football, to going to the University of Miami, a major program, and then transition in the caliber play from the University of Miami, which is a top program, to the professional level. You first go to pros, and you got guys eat you alive at first.
Right.
That's man. If he pulls that off,
zero college.
He's the man.
Right.
That's tough. That's gonna be a tough transition.
Right.
I'm not saying he can't do it. I heard he's a great athlete, and he's an impressive looking athlete. But it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be hard because a lot of it's not just your tenacity and mental toughness, and it's a lot of it's technique and leverage and stuff that you learn through coming up through high school at a major college and playing against and building your way up to the pros.
Right. And he's playing a line, isn't he? He's pretty light. He's light for his position.
That's a tough jump.
Right.
A tough jump. But who knows? He's an obviously great collegiate wrestler, and if anybody can do it.
Him.
I don't know him personally, but he looks like a great athlete, so maybe he can pull it off. I don't know.
Thoughts on Conan? Did you get along with K-Dog, Conan?
We travel a lot together, yeah. And Conan's kind of guy that he's fun to be around, likes to play the rap music and and stuff like that, and K-Dog and stuff. Nash and him and I actually travel a lot together, so. In spite of rumors that I've heard, which once again I don't even know how to get on that wrestling websites and stuff, but that there's heaps in Conan and I. The only problem I had one time was with when my bicep got hurt. We talked about a spot about 10 times. The spot that I hurt my bicep on before we went out there. A transition from me shining him as the heel in the heat.
Right.
And it was a Luthez over the rope. And my only thing to him was, and I was fine. 30 seconds later, I found him. My only problem was that we were over it about 10 times in the back. You fell backwards instead of falling forward on the neck on the rope. I mean, you know, were you not all there? Did you not sleep last night? I mean, just tell me. You know, I mean,
Right.
you know, but everybody makes mistakes, and we made up, and I was mad at him. So my body's kind of my business, you know. Right. So, you know, I was upset that my bicep was torn. And about 2 minutes later, I realized why he mad at him. He didn't do it on purpose. Even if he didn't sleep that night or was out partying or whatever happened, and, you know, in life stuff happens. So a couple minutes later, I was fine with it, you know. So there's no, at least I'm not on my end. There's no deep-seated animosity or resentment towards Conan at all, and I like Conan. You know, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun memories traveling with him. A lot of good times.
Did you see the potential back then in Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit?
Oh, I think everybody always saw potential in them. They're always great workers.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think the only debate on them was their size, whether the fans would buy their size or not. But now there's such a mix of different size guys that their size isn't a detriment anymore.
Right.
So now their work ethic and their workability is able to shine without them saying, yeah, you're a good worker, but oh, it's kind of small. You know,
Right.
That isn't an issue for them anymore. They're able to shine with their talent, and they're very talented. So I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them.
What did you think when Scott Steiner walked out and cut the shoot promo on WCW on Nitro? Remember that? He went off on Flair, he called him an old man and stuff like that. He trashed the company.
I always took Scotty as on those promos and stuff. Scotty tries so hard. The business means so much to him. I always took it that when he said stuff like that, he was just trying to get heat and get over as a heel and be Big Papa Pump. And I never took it kind of like, gosh, Scotty's being a jerk or,
Right.
you know, I'm still friends with this guy. I see him, we was at my gym every night. I see him all the time. And so I'm still good friends with Scott. And we were all together. He roomed with me. I mean, my gosh. I never took anything he said about WCW or Flair or stuff like as a personal affront or anything like that. You know, I thought it was Scotty being Scotty. You know, he's kind of crotchety and
Right.
and moody. You know,
Right.
so I was like, that boy. You know, be yourself. You know,
Right.
be yourself out there. You know.
Right.
So I thought he was just being himself.
How did the relationship between you and Elizabeth start to develop?
I think as in any other workplace, I think we knew each other for years before anything besides just hello in the hallway happened, and it just I always had a lot of respect for her in the business and what she represented as far as women in the business, and I thought she was, of course, very attractive. And other than that, there was never anything there, and it was just sort of a gradual evolution. You know, I was unhappy in my marriage years and years prior to that,